All right, welcome back. So now we're going to talk through how to build your worksheet. So obviously we've spent some time working on explaining to you how to build your script. Now we're going to look at how to specifically build your worksheets and the thinking that went into building the original Master Coach script worksheets rather. So those of you with the Master Coach, you're familiar with the worksheets. You're familiar with the fact that you're familiar with the fact that obviously by now all of you have probably come up with at least a draft of your session script. Remember, your script is just to warm the client up to the session, and you've all got the template that you can use to model for that. And you've also got a template for the worksheets, but the worksheet is different because the worksheets are really the main body of the session. Now, the good thing for you to know is you can literally just model what I've done in my worksheets, and because I've literally modeled other worksheets. So this is the way that I come up with the worksheet. So, for example, the first session, in Master Coach is around clarity. It's called Clarify. And so what we did is we asked 5 or 6 questions around the topic of clarity to really clarify, where the person is and where they, want to get to, etc. And then what I did is I basically thought, right, I've come up with 5 or 6 questions around the topic of clarity. Where else can I take this person? So I basically went, how can I dig deeper around this topic? So I basically just came up with around 12 statements, which were kind of verbal fill in the blanks around this topic of kind of really just clarity. So a thing for you to know is, although these are statements / questions, fill in the blank kind of things, they are really they're just more questions. So even though this is called a worksheet, it's only a worksheet because it's something that you can give the client as a tangible asset so that they feel like they're bought into a coaching program and process, and they're not just signing up for wishy-washy life coaching. So just so you know, when I actually come up with a session, I'm actually coming up with about 18 to 20 questions, not 6. The first 6 go onto the script, and the next 12 to 15 go onto a separate worksheet, which I basically put in here with a kind of fill in the blank thing underneath. So if the client wants to print it off and fill it out for themselves, they can. And so you'll see, in here, top 3 challenges in my life right now. Biggest change I'd like to make in life right now is, the reason this is the biggest change is because. So you can literally imagine, if we go back to the topic that we talked about for the script called intuition, you could literally just model these questions, but use it as the topic is intuition, and it would pretty much work. And there might be some ones where you think it doesn't work, and that's for you to work out. But in a nutshell, that is how you put a session worksheet together. So you've just got to think through, really, what are 15 to 18 questions around topic 1, topic 2, topic 3, topic 4, topic 5. So it's going to take work, obviously. It took me months to build the Master Coach scripts and worksheets initially, but we've got 3 packed days to get you to at least the point where you've got drafts of all your session scripts and worksheets, and you've got me to coach you through it. So that's an example of a worksheet, which is kind of a 12 questions, get the client to verbally fill in the blank. That's an example of a worksheet. Another worksheet that I like is a scorecard. So you might want to consider doing a scorecard. So this is probably one of my favorite types of coaching worksheets, because the reason why I like a scorecard is it's very tangible. So what I've done here is I've basically gone, okay, let's look at their whole life and let's get them to score themselves out of 10 let's come up with a statement relating to each area. So obviously this is health. 10 is amazing, nailing it. 1 is terrible. They come up with their score, which you all know because you've done Master Coach. And then they say to you, you say, what's a simple habit that you could do to improve? Like if you're a 5 out of 10, what would be one simple habit you could do to make yourself a 6? This, you've been on Master Coach, right? And then family, friends, romance. So you could literally pick your session, whatever it is, session 2. And what you've got to do is go, right, what are 6 or 7 areas? And you could literally, if you were doing a topic called intuition, you could literally do intuition for health, intuition for family, friends, intuition for romance, intuition for just checking that the mic was still on there, intuition for career, intuition for wealth, intuition for recreation, and so on. So you could literally just model that. Session 3, another scorecard. So if you like the scorecard one, you could literally just do 4 or 5 scorecards. Really easy to create. Really, really simple. All you've got to do is come up with a theme of, so obviously, if I'm doing a session on energy, then what I've got to do is go, right, what are some categories that they might want to consider to evaluate their energy? So I've gone low intensity exercise, high intensity exercise, stress, nutrition, sleep, hydration, environments, peer support. You could add to that. If you're a fitness expert, you might say there's better ones than that. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. It's just got to get the client to be stimulated in their thinking and to think different than they've currently been thinking. Let's have a look at this one. This one's different. So this one, see that why this is a good worksheet is because I'm literally getting them to come up with 3 individual goals. And then underneath each goal is the same thing. So you'll see goal number 1, and then you've got 10x version, give up habits, skills, blind spots, risk management, first next step. Goal number 2, 10x version, give up habits, skills, blind spots. So that was a really easy worksheet to come up with. If you're going to do something around a client's particular goal, then you could maybe do 3 goals. And then you literally I literally would have copy and pasted that and done it again. And it's crazy how effective that is, because once they've done the first one, it's like, right, cool. Let's think of another goal. And you might do this around a decision they've got to make. Okay, what is an area right now you've got an important decision that you haven't made? This. Okay, cool. And then you coach them through some questions around decision making. Okay, give me another area where you've got a decision to make that you're procrastinating on. Cool. Run them through the decision making questions. What's another decision? Run them through the decision making, and so on. And that becomes another worksheet. Here's a really good thing for you to know. You actually aren't needing to create 12 worksheets. You're only actually needing to create around 9 or 10, because if you follow the Master Coach methodology, which I recommend you do, you'll remember, those of you that have been on Master Coach, that sessions 9 and 10, we repeat from the earlier session, because we've got obviously, 9 weeks apart, 10 weeks apart, or 10 months apart in some cases if you're coaching over 12 months. So you can literally just copy and paste from the earlier session. So this is life indicators assessment, which is session number 2. So I literally just changed that to a 9, and now you've got a brand new session. So the great thing for you to know in this training is you haven't got to create 12 worksheets. You've only really got to create 10, because 2 of them are repeated. And I recommend that you do that, because it's really good to give the client a check-in on their progress. In fact, you're not even really having to create 12, because session 12, you remember, is just a re-enrollment session. We don't have a worksheet in session 12. We just have the script and the re-enrollment part. So you're actually only got 9 worksheets to create. You haven't got to create 12, which is which is really, really good. Let's have another look at another one. That one's another statements, fill in the blank. You see what I've done here? Business, career, 5 or 6 statements, health, 5 or 6 statements, and they're just copy and pasted, but I've just swapped the word business for health. So this is the beautiful thing. So if you're creating a certification that is very much going to just follow the Master Coach way of script and worksheet, it is really easy for you to just plug in and replace our keywords with your own keywords and just follow the same, and it will be just as effective. And in addition to that, obviously, you've got resources that we recommended, like the Coaching Questions book and the resources we've mentioned online to come up with your questions. But if you want to, I recommend you literally just have a tab open with your template for like session worksheet 1, and you literally just look at our worksheet 1 and you just model that, copy and paste it across, and then just swap out our words for your words, and go from there. And then we can look at it once you've got it drafted. So hopefully that makes sense and gives you lots of clarity as to what you need to do to start making your worksheet. Obviously, there will be having questions during this session, but I'm going to leave you now to have a go at creating your worksheets. Off you go.